Hello. Wanted to record a video today on this Bob Marley quote that I shared. Really just saying, like, there's no need to worry. I mean, it could also be don't worry, be happy. But there really is nothing to worry about. One of the sayings that I share with a lot of my clients is, if you are depressed, you're living in the past. If you are anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. So anytime you're feeling anxious or fearful, you're living in the future. And this quote really says, like, everything always ends up okay. And so if it's not okay right now, it's not the end. You're kind of in the middle of it, but this isn't the way it's going to be forever. So have patience. This too shall pass, right? And really, to me, like anxiety, all anxiety is just fear, stress, overwhelm, worry. It's all fear. And so I think it's up to us to decide, like, do I want to live in fear, or do I just want to live in the present? Because anxiety too tells us that when X moment comes, I'm not going to be able to handle it, or I'm not going to know what to do, or it's going to be bad. And I shared before that even though things might appear bad, it doesn't mean that they are. So we're not going to predict the future by saying it's going to be bad, right? Why would you do that? All these negative what ifs come into our mind and go, like, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And you can spend an hour thinking about all the ways something could go wrong, and then you negate all the ways that it could go right. And often things never turn out the way that we think they're going to turn out. They turn out differently. And what do we do when that moment comes? We just handle it. We live in the present and we handle it. It's like fear takes us to the peak of the mountain, the absolute tip. Like, well, what if I lose all my money and I go bankrupt and I'm homeless? Well, okay, that sounds scary. And then what, right? So a good way to combat that anxiety and that fear is just to ask yourself, all right, if this happens, then what happens? And then what? And then what? And then what? And then what? So on and so forth. And then by the end, you actually realize things turn out okay. The and then what isn't actually so bad. I'm going to be okay. And the way that I believe too, like, worst case scenario, I die, I'm going to be okay. I'm cool with where I'm going. So if you find yourself feeling anxiety, fear, stress, worry, overwhelm, etc., remember that it's not the end, and choose to ground yourself in the present. Don't predict this negative future that you don't want to occur anyway. Decide that things are going to be okay. And if you need help, think about, like, literally write out all the ways it could go well. Or if you want to play out the fears, then play it out with some reality and go, okay, well, if worst case scenario happens, then what? And then what? And then what? And eventually you'll do that until you get to a place of peace. Hope this helps. If you have any questions or any topics too that you want me to talk about, send them my way, comment below, or send me a message. I like to talk a lot about all this stuff, so I'll talk about anything. Hope y'all doing well.